Hi, this is Chris McKaylee with a video podcast to discuss what we call Budget Bills Junior. In September of 2017, there were extensive budget negotiations, and they resulted in the passage of two measures that amended the state budget bill that had been adopted 3 months earlier, of course, by the June 15th deadline. And both of these bills, they called them junior budget bills, or what today we call budget bills junior, BBJ, a budget bill junior, singular, budget bills junior, plural. And those two measures were approved along with about a half a dozen budget trailer bills to make numerous statutory changes to implement the budget for the 2017-18 fiscal year that had begun on July 1, 2017. So again, these two budget bills junior and half a dozen trailer bills were signed by Governor Brown in September of 2017. And some question whether these budget bills junior were proper or not. Now we need to look at Article 4, Section 12, which was amended in part in 2010 by the state's voters in Proposition 25. And Prop 25, among other things, allows passage of our state budget with a simple majority vote, eliminating the 2/3 vote requirement that had been in effect since. And California at that time was one of 3 states that required a 2/3 supermajority for passage of the budget. Now, under our state constitution in Article 4, the annual budget dance begins with the governor submitting the spending plan to the legislature no later than January 10th. And the Constitution formally calls this legislation the budget bill. And it also requires the governor's budget to be introduced immediately in each house of the legislature by the respective chairs of the Assembly and Senate budget committees. The state constitution also requires the legislature to pass the budget bill by June 15th each year. And so lawmakers are actually limited, except in certain certified instances that the governor makes, from even sending any appropriation bills other than the budget bill until the budget bill has been enacted. The other limitation is that it's only the budget bill that contain more than one item of appropriation. Now, the budget bill is certainly specified in the Constitution, but is a budget bill junior also specified that would allow it to be adopted by majority vote under Prop 25. Now, keep in mind that the legislature can consider any bill throughout the legislative session that makes a single item of appropriation. Again, it's limited to one item, and it's subject to a 2/3 vote of each house if it's an appropriation from the general fund. If it's an appropriation from a special fund, then it's a simple majority vote. Okay, now in section 12D of Article 4 of our Constitution, it says that appropriations bills are required to be passed by a 2/3 majority in each house, except 1, appropriations for the public schools, 2, appropriations in the budget bill, and 3, appropriations in other bills providing for appropriations related to the budget bill. So here again, there's a reference to the budget bill, but this language is broad enough that it contemplates trailer bills and budget bills junior. Now, the Constitution says the budget bill and other bills providing for appropriations related to the budget bill. And these measures can all be passed by majority vote, and they all take effect immediately. The Constitution defines in Section 12D of Article 4 other bills providing for appropriations related to the budget bill as those consisting only of bills identified as related to the budget in the budget bill passed by the legislature. That appears to mean that trailer bills and any other budget bill junior must be identified in the budget bill that was introduced in January and must be passed by June the 15th. As a result, if budget trailer bills are not identified in the budget bill, one question raised is, when do those bills have to be identified in the budget bill? Um, and of course, fall under the majority vote. Now, it doesn't mean that all these other bills couldn't be adopted. It just means whether those measures can be voted on by majority vote, because otherwise they'd have to go through the normal legislative process and be subject to the appropriate vote requirement rather than a simple majority under Prop 25. So courts have opined that there can be multiple appropriations in a single bill that are within a department's or agency's budget. Therefore, there may be more bills with subsequent appropriations, but are those necessarily budget bills junior? One suggested approach has been to require all the budget trailer bills be adopted at the same time as the budget bill, or at least prior to the start of the new fiscal year. However, that doesn't apply under this language. There was a lawsuit challenging a budget trailer bill that was adopted by majority vote and that took effect immediately, and that was permissible generally under Article 4, Section 12. But the bottom line is there is the language sufficient in Section 12D, allowing for one or more budget bills junior, as well as multiple trailer bills to implement the statutory changes required. And that's because of the broad language adopted by the voters in Prop 25, amending Article 4, Section 12 of our state constitution.